actions and prosecutions in certain cases, the EFF believes that the actions of Cyril Ramaphosa and Nathi Mthethwa had a causal effect on the ultimate decision to plan the mass killing of workers in Marikana. Conspiracy to commit murder is a criminal offense in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act, and it should be taken upon by criminal procedure processes. In this regard, the EFF will do the following. 1. Lay criminal charges against Mr. Ramaphosa on the prima facie case of him conspiring to commit murder of workers. Lay criminal charges against Mr. Nathi Mthethwa for conspiring to commit murder of workers in Marikana and celebrating the massacre on behalf of government after the killing. Lay criminal charges against all the directors of Lawn Mill for conspiring to kill workers, not protecting them, claiming that they could not afford salaries demanded, whilst they were in fact engaged in criminal forms of tax avoidance. Lay criminal charges against Mbombo for instructing the TRT to kill workers. Lay criminal charges against Pierre for conspiring to kill workers and instructing the TRT to kill workers. Institute a process of reparations against Lawn Mill to demand reparations and payments of all the families of deceased of 10 million per family and 5 million per injured worker. Report Lawn Mill to the South African Revenue Services for all cases of aggressive tax avoidance that stole potential money for workers and for the state as it is required by law. The EFF will visit the Marikana police station on Friday, tomorrow, the 3rd of July 2015, to open the police cases. The EFF will also use the opportunity to ask about the police case number 167/08/2012 and 168/08/2012, which were opened against the police who killed mine workers in Marikana in 2012 by the workers. The EFF will leave no stone unturned in ensuring that all who conspire to kill mine workers are brought to book, and will even consider options of private prosecution if the NDPP political appointments refuse to pursue the cases we are going to open. Politically, the EFF will use all its available platforms to expose the murderous regime of the ANC, will mobilize, educate and agitate the whole of South African society and the world to see the hypocrisy of the ANC government. We will fight with everything in our power to expose the callous, oppressive, repressive, murderous nature of the sitting government. We do all this because we want to protect the constitutional right of mine workers to protest. We also do all this because we want to nip in the bud the entitlement of politicians to kill their own citizens and justify such through whitewash commission reports. The callous, premeditated murder and massacres of workers should never be let to go through without anyone being held responsible. The EFF will fight in all platforms to hold the murderers and conspirators of murder accountable in totality. We'll never stop until justice is realized. I thank you.
Thank you very much, President. So let's attempt the first round of questions. We'll probably go 3 times. And I wish to remind you that you don't have to stick necessarily to the Marikana Commission report. So let's take the first round of hands for questions. Let's take the first round of questions. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 in that order. Please remember your name and also indicate who you are.
My name is Jan. I work for a field and report newspapers. Can I ask you whether you feel that the report has stated the independence of the judiciary in South Africa? And secondly, of the Marikana Report, what is your wish, what is your opinion on the forthcoming Special National Congress of the South? What do you think is going to be announced?
Colin Gambi from ENCA. Just two brief questions. The first one is, do you think that the targeting of Cyril Ramaphosa, as you clearly have mentioned in several times in the statement, that his targeting was a bad political strategy on your part and others, of course, that are representing workers in this? Because I think the feeling was that the Commission would never have found him guilty in the first place. And the second to that question is, did your own personal political vendetta against him play a part in this? He's the man that expelled you from the ANC. So did that play any part in you pursuing him relentlessly?
I'm Anjali Mansami from Tech Maverick. Firstly, Judge Farnham recommended that there should be another inquiry by the National Director of Public Prosecutions to determine whether there are, in fact, criminal charges to be pursued. Are you not jumping the gun by laying your own charge? Are you not supposed to wait for that process? Do you not trust that process to unfold? Secondly, how are you going to deal with this matter in Parliament? Is this going to be a second pay back the money? Is there going to be another chance, more demonstration? How are you going to now interact with people like Deputy President Ramaphosa and Minister Mtetwa in Parliament? Thank you.
President.
Thank you very much. Well, we think that Judge Farnham did what he was asked to do, and ordinarily commissions by their own nature operate within a limited space because of the terms of reference, and they do not have much power to go into a thorough, deeper investigation and unearth what actually is not presented before them. And we actually want to thank him for having availed himself and to have kick-started this process. For sure, he also knows that that was not the end but the beginning of getting into the bottom of what really occurred. And we think that he gave an independent view. We do not agree with it. We think that his findings were limited, and we think that he could have done even much more. But that doesn't suggest that he's actually being manipulated by anyone. Judges make mistakes, and that's why there is in our law a recourse to review the Commission's report, which is a good thing. And in the judicial process, there's what we call appeals. If you're not happy with the judgment of lower courts, and we've seen higher courts reversing the decisions of the earlier courts or lower courts, as it were. So our judiciary is intact. Our judiciary is refusing a temptation to enter into a political space and appreciates the fact that there are three legs of the state, and therefore it must not assume the responsibilities of the other two legs of the state. There is, however, a huge attempt by the ruling party to manipulate the judiciary. There's a strong intention by the ruling party to infiltrate the judiciary and render it dysfunctional in the same way they've rendered the legislature dysfunctional, in the same way they've rendered the executive dysfunctional. And we're happy that our judges are resisting that bad intention of the ruling party to hijack the judiciary